Two daft little sausages. They know they're heading to Tyson in the field. Every time. Hi, we're Ian and Julie. Follow us on our tiny homestead and our debt-free project of a lifetime, the building of our shipping container home here in the Pyrenees. And all of this alongside our full-time jobs. Go get him, dogs! Ah! Watch this. You ready, Floki? Release the hounds, go! Come on! And Tyson's coming to see us. You coming today?
So it's finally time to get this solar panel connected to the polytunnel water system. I've got my new charge controller. I've got a Victron one, I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm going to try ultimately to make some sort of rig here, because this is south this way. I've got that little tiny panel up there, and I want to put the bigger one down here. But for now, just to get everything tested, I'm just going to clean up this area here.
Looks like we got Tyson helping us this afternoon putting this solar panel up.
So I've trimmed as much as I could. I only had 2 lights on the battery. I've only got 1 battery. So that's okay. This is just going to be a temporary here. I'm just going to wire it all up. And we got some good sun at the moment. It's supposed to pour down this afternoon, just to give it a good test. This is the charge controller I got. It was one of the recommendations in the comments. Victron MPPT 75-15. Now it should be okay. It should work with my lithium. It's pretty hefty compared to the other one. So let's get this one installed.
This is why they were going so crazy just trotting up our little road to the field. Loki's just found the new compost pile. He blends in, he's the same colour. Floki, where are you going? Come back. So he's just taking out our old teeny tiny controller, ready for the new beast.
I'm hoping it'll just be a direct replacement. It's the same connections. I'm just going to take, this is my tiny teeny solar panel on the roof, so I'll take those off. They're insulated, just going to tuck that one behind there. So I've got the charge controller installed, just the battery and my load at the moment. I've got one little blue flashing light there. So now I'm going to go and connect the PV, the photovoltaic. So I'm just going to run the cables probably just through this gap here. Right, can't figure out what's positive and negative. So I'm just going to, right, so that's 33 volts. It looks positive. I'm just going to go the other way around, to make sure. Yeah, that's negative 38 volts. So that is negative and that is positive. There probably were marks on this tape here, but it's faded a little. So I've already made up my cables. So now that is going to be positive and that is negative. So I'm just going to chase that one, make sure I mark it up the same the other end. There we go. Right, I think I've worked out how I'm going to do this with a couple of rails, but I need some U-clamps. So I need how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 U-bolts, and then I'll be able to, and a little angle. I need an angle just to connect the two bars together, but I'll show that later because I haven't got those now and I'll have to go to the shop and get those. But for now, let's get some power so we can get this water on again.
Okay, feed them through.
Right.
Yeah, there's one.
You got them both? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 cables.
Tell me when there's enough to go up to the blue box tied in.
One moment.
Will they reach?
Oh, I've got more than enough.
Okay.
Plenty.
Yeah, man.
Why is there a blue light flashing?
Target, it's the battery's connected, isn't it?
Oh, sorry.
There's power on there, but this is a Bluetooth thing, so I've got to get the app going in a minute. I'm going to get that one connected in. I've just connected the PV, and now my little flashing blue light has gone to a solid blue light, and that's it. I have no idea now what's happening. So I've got to go to the application, Victron Connect. Well, a bit disappointing. It looks like my controller doesn't have the Bluetooth built in. There must be a second version of this, and I've just looked up and there's a little Bluetooth symbol on the front here, and mine doesn't have that. So I have no idea. At the moment it basically says it's bulk, so I'm assuming that means it's charging. I'm not getting anything on my load output though, so does that mean it hasn't reached the correct charge yet? I'm not sure.
While Ian's cutting all the grass around the exterior of the polytunnel, I'll just give you a quick update of what's actually going on in here. So if you remember a few weeks ago, I planted some salad, mixed lettuces, and a few days later came back in and something had eaten them all. Well, they've all bounced back. They're doing fine. Some more so than others. But yeah, got some nice lettuces on the go now. Now, my tomatoes that I planted, they've now got big enough that I can start getting the strings on without damaging them and trimming them up a little bit, just taming them. So they've all come on really well. There's a couple just further down here that I've actually already started doing. So as you can see, I take all the bottoms off and then bring the strings up. And I've got a series of wires, whoops, here, that go in a grid all the way across. So there's a couple of tomatoes I've already got started, and I've just planted a little bit of basil there, and here I need to get some more basil on the go. And at the same time as my lettuces got nibbled, a few spare marigolds, but they're coming back. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And in the next row, my beetroot, that's doing great. Needs a bit of a tidy up. And behind the beetroot, a little bit of chives. And all my pepper plants, oh, I'll go a bit lower for you. My pepper plants, they're doing really well now. So I've got a row of pepper plants on the go. They've really come on in a matter of 2 weeks.
Hi, it's been a few days. We're back at the polytunnel and the solar has certainly been working because the pump was basically just constantly running. What we didn't have was water to go through the pump. All 3 IBCs were totally empty, even though we've had so much rain. And what I found, these little strainers that I put in, they're like swimming pool strainers, were absolutely caked in mud and dust. It was like a solid concrete disc in here. we've got a local quarry, and when they blast, the dust does come over, and that we haven't checked them for the last year or so. We thought it would be just leaves and things like that, but it wasn't. It was actual solid. I had to chip it out, and then we've cleaned them all out. So the water was basically just hitting it and coming over the sides. And because we're never here when it's raining like that, we never actually saw it. So I've left them off for a couple of days. We've got a little bit of water in these, which means the same water will be all three of them. I'm just going to put them back in now, but it is now something we are going to check quite regularly. I'm hoping for rain, although I don't want it to rain, but I want these filled up. But if not, we're going to have to stretch. That's our house just over there. We have a hose stretched all the way across the field, but it's got a billion holes after the winter. So I don't really want to go and fix them all. So if it means we have to fill up with the mains water, then so be it. But fingers crossed. Yeah, it's the same level. All three IBCs are all connected together. So whatever one level is, they should all be the same. So, God, these were always full. So it's a matter of that pumping too much water. We might just have to limit it to, say, 20 minutes twice a day instead of the half hour. But, I mean, look at the polytunnel now. It's totally moist inside. Oh, it is dripping in here. Oh, my God.
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh, no. Well,
Oh, my glasses have steamed up. Whoop. Hello, everybody. Oh, no, it's on the inside. Oh, my gosh. Totally steamed up. Hey.
Right.
Oh.
Tell us what you're going to do in here.
So I really need now is to continue stringing up all my tomatoes, and I'm going to prepare ready for the strings also for the cucumbers and a bit of tidying up. But whew, I think those doors have got to stay open for a while. It's too hot. I must bring my thermometer back in here. It is so hot. It's lovely. And the plastic is just dripping wet.
So the plan for me today is to get this solar panel up on top of the IBC units. But before I do that, I just want to go and check the charge controller. So this is the LiFePO4 battery we got given. It's been, seems to be working well. And the charge controller now has the green float light on, which I'm assuming means this battery is fully charged. I've got no load on it. What I did was actually just connect the load directly to the battery because I couldn't get it to work using the load here. So if anybody's got any suggestions of why that hasn't happened, this isn't connected to the app. Not quite yet. I need to find the little dongle that sits on this. I'm a bit annoyed that it's not Bluetooth, but that was a order in haste instead of reading the documentation. Right, just disconnect the DC. Just move this panel out of the way for a minute. So these are my rails. These rails came with the solar tracker that we put in, but because we're not using so many solar panels on that eco-worthy solar tracker, I've got spare. So I'm just going to try and MacGyver something up on these. Right, this is my idea. I'm going to put a vertical at the back, just here. And then I've had a 90-degree angle there, but I've just bent it. Bolt that on there, and then have this one bolted like that. So it's going to be about 45 degrees, maybe 40. And then use U-bolts to bolt these rails to the actual IBC frame. All these bolts have come from the garage build. That's why they're all a bit oversized. 165. That would work there. Just makes it more difficult getting to that strainer. So I've put both stanchions up now. I've just got to come back because I've dropped a nut in the nettles and I can't find it. And I've just stung myself looking for it. But it's pretty secure. I'll put the first little bracket here, both level. And now myself and Julie are going to put the panel up. Oh, hold on. And see how it fits. Can you reach?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'm just going to get the cables on it. Up. Let's get this last one on, and then we should be good to go. That's it. Oh, that's solid, isn't it? Last thing is to reconnect them. Right. Tidy those up with some cable ties later, but I don't want to go too much because Julie might stand on them.
And Julie was standing on them. So predictable, Ian. Oh.
Right, that's all right. Let's just go and check the controller. Right, back to charging now. So before I connected those the panel, this little blue light was blinking, which means there's no input power. Now there's input power. Oh, it's coming up to absorption, whatever that means. And then hopefully it'll go to float. So that is now working. I need to plug in my pump into the mains. There we go.
Ooh, water flow, Ian.
Sounds a bit better, doesn't it?
That sounds healthier.
So there's a lot of air in there because basically there was no water, so but it is dripping through now, which is good. And all these little weeds. Oh, have to get the hoe. But that's a good thing about no dig. They're not really rooted in. They're just right on the surface.
Just putting some fresh wood shavings down in Tyson's field shelter, because he seems to spend quite a bit of time just standing in here. So this will be a bit softer on his legs. You're coming in, Ty. Ooh, you old rascal. You're just a cheeky old man, aren't you? You're a cheeky old man.
Well, I'm pretty happy with that. Makes a much bigger difference than that little tiny 10 watter up there. We use that for an emergency, I suppose. But that's another mini project all sorted, and it allows us to go away now on our cycling tours. It allows this to be self-sustainable with power and hopefully water. I think we're going to have to fill them up with a bit of mains water, just so we know they're not going to run out. And I've set my pump down there just to come on 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night. I think 30 was probably too much, and that's why it all ran down. But now we've cleaned out the filters, the strainers. Where is it? There it is. I'm hoping any drop of water now that falls from the sky will be directed into these, because we've never run out of these over the last 2 years. So they've just secretly clogged up with all that mud. So now I'm going to shoot off to the off-grid plot, and we're going to get all that tidied up, hopefully the grass cut as well before the next rain comes, and just get squared away before we have to go off too many weeks with these cycling tours. We'll see you up there in a jiffy.